know that Nollywood is the second biggest film industry after Hollywood? But did you also know that Kenyan actresses are now gravitating slowly and surely towards Nollywood? We'll tell you briefly about a Kenyan actress who has started acting in Nollywood. My name is Ike Benson Jr. Welcome to Africa's Zeitgeist Show, the only show in Ghana, the region, the continent, operating from the assumption that the AU is already a global player. With each show, what we try and do is ask about skills, visibility, and positioning. Pourquoi est-ce important? Why is it important for skills, visibility, and positioning? Savoir-faire, visibility, positionnement. At the end of the treatment of the topic, we'll ask specifically about the skills. But we're going to start off very quickly with a nice big figure for you to absorb. Did you also know that by 2029, the creative arts industry is going to be $960 million? That's a lot of money, which means a lot of opportunities, a lot of jobs, and so on. And the Africa's creative sector, in fact, generates $4.2 billion every year, with Nollywood, for example, making 2,500 films every year. UNESCO projects that the sector could create about 20 million jobs and generate $20 billion annually. But there are very interesting things I want to talk about today. It isn't just about Nollywood, it isn't just about the African creative arts generally, but it's a fact that it is gradually improving. There's been a lot of momentum around the Africa creative arts industry. For example, I can tell you that the musician Burna Boy has executive produced a film together with one of the Nollywood actresses. She goes by the name Osas. A film called Three Cold Dishes. It's an African crime thriller, which themes are around human trafficking. It's about three women who have been trafficked before and decide to take revenge. And there's another film coming out early 2026 called 3 Days in Africa, which is also a crime thriller, but features shoots in Europe. But what it does is it's reminding us that the collaboration is slowly and surely coming between African creative arts sector and international arts sector. And obviously, I want to believe that very soon we're going to be seeing Nollywood and Hollywood coming together. Let's start a little bit, though, talking about the Kenyan actress. There's a Kenyan actress in Nollywood by name Diana Luvanda. We've personally watched 2 or 3 of her films already. She's a very good actress. And it was the accent that was the giveaway. For those of us who have hung around accents a little, you can tell immediately when she starts talking that she's East African. And then the name reveals that she's Kenyan. She's acted already in 3 Nollywood films. And I want to believe she's probably going to go there to stay. To think that someone from East Africa, an actress from East Africa, will want to go to West Africa to start their filming career is quite interesting. Most of the time they go to Hollywood, they're thinking about the big dreams, and now they're going to Nollywood, which signifies something very interesting happening in Nollywood. I've already mentioned the African crime thrillers, the 3 Cold Dishes that is going to come soon. I've also talked about the 3 Days in Africa, which will be coming in 2026. But there are also very interesting dynamics happening around Nollywood. You have some Nollywood actors, for example, speaking French. One Nollywood actor by name Brian Okoye, he has spent quite a bit of time in France. He actually studied studied French in Nigeria, and then has had the opportunity to also use his French in Nollywood films. But there's also a Nollywood actor by name Etim-Effiong, who has acted in a film, a 2019 comedy in Kenya. So already you could see that in 2019, just 6 years ago, Kenyans had begun positioning themselves to start their gravitation towards Nollywood, and now we see it with Diana Luvanda already there, already having acted 3 films. All these point to very exciting times on the continent. But there are things that we probably need to talk about for skills. For skills, it's clear. It's a no-brainer. If UNESCO is talking about 20 million jobs and generating $20 billion annually, it means that we need to begin, catching the creative arts, catching those who want to go into the creative arts a lot at an earlier age, so that they begin to appreciate the fact that they can do music, they can do fashion, they can do art, film, and so on and so forth. Film is becoming a very increasing, a very popular area of the creative arts that I want to believe that many Africans would want to consider. And you find out, for example, that the one of the producers of the Three Cold Dishes, for example, he is an award-winning director who shot to fame simply by watching YouTube videos of how to make film. And now he has won an international award, and he's working on his second film, which is featuring Burna Boy. So YouTube is also helping. And still on YouTube, there's a positioning by Nollywood actors to move some of their films not to streaming platforms like Netflix or Showmax and all these other ones, but to ones like YouTube, because YouTube is a lot easier, and they find that they can also attract a lot more investment, attract a lot more advertising as well, and it's a lot easier. So putting everything on YouTube is better for them. So we're going to be seeing more and more creative artists from the continent putting a lot of their content on YouTube. Instagram has been one popular area as well. I can tell you about an Instagram account from Cote d'Ivoire, which has catalogued all the Ivorian women over the past 20 years and featured them on Instagram. And this Instagram user posts regularly, featuring either video clips or featuring fashion, as expressed by Ivorian women, and also highlighting the beauty of Ivorian women. These are things that are emphasizing and underscoring the beauty of the African continent. Actresses like Amake Abrebrese, Ghanaian actress, is talking about the Africa Arts Fund, which is very exciting to hear. There's also this Kenya-Nigeria duality that we're seeing with Diana Luvanda, with Etim-Effiong acting in Kenya, Diana Luvanda, Kenyan acting in Nigeria, and what that means for tourism, what that also means for synergy, what that means for collaboration, what that also means for business. An increasing number of Kenyans will obviously want to be setting up businesses in Nigeria and vice versa. If we had a burgeoning film industry, imagine what that would also mean for us, given that the Ghana hosts the African Continental Free Trade Area Secretariat. But we also have new ideas like the Film Africa Network, which is an initiative that is coming up where cinemas, a collaboration between African cinema houses, where a board will identify some of the best cinemas and some of the best films to show across the continent, and so on. So these are some of the things that are coming up that we would like to highlight over the next course of the different editions that we feature on the creative arts. We've obviously must have also heard about Idris Elba, who has begun to invest in film studios in regions such as Zanzibar, and also is thinking about one in Ghana, where he will create platforms to amplify African narratives and expand production capability. So the long and short of it all is that this billion-dollar industry is going to become an even bigger industry, largely because of what it is able to do. The technology is helping, facilitating a lot of these creative arts to come together, to work together, to realize that it is by collaboration that a lot of these things can be done. But one of the things I find we probably must talk about is, what is the AU's role in all of this? We know about the African Union, we know about Agenda 2063, but did you know that the African Union has a protocol called the African Audiovisual Cinema Commission, which has been around for a couple of years now, but no member state of the African Union has ratified it. So here we have the Africa Audiovisual Cinema Commission being hosted by the Kenya Film Commission in Kenya, and yet no member state is hosting it. And yet a lot of member states are talking about Africa Agenda 2063, giving vent to supporting Agenda 2063 and all the moonshots and all these things. And yet they're missing one of the biggest things, which is the Africa Audiovisual Cinema Commission. So we want to use this opportunity to say, if you are watching this and your member state has not ratified, and most likely it has not, even my own country of Ghana, I can tell you, has not ratified, then please speak to your creative arts industry, whatever association is, to find out what is the African Audiovisual Cinema Commission, why has it not been ratified by the member states, and what can it do? I can tell you some of the things that already is happening, where policy is happening ahead of the where practice is happening ahead of the policy. There's the fact that there's intra-African collaboration. There's also supposed to be the establishment of a film fund, something that I spoke to earlier, that Amakea Barbaressa is trying to mobilize resources for. But ideally, the African Audiovisual Cinema Commission is supposed to mobilize resources around an Africa Film Fund, which would be used to support those in the creative arts who want to start filmmaking. Filmmaking is a powerful tool. We love to tell stories on the continent. And the stories on the continent are humongous. They are numerous, and we need to start telling them with authenticity, with vivacity, with purpose, so that we get to the point where people will begin to find jobs in the creative arts, and they'll find jobs in the aviation industry, they'll find jobs in the cocoa sector, they'll find jobs on the continent, because there are jobs on the continent. And so let's come together to the point where we say that we are going to encourage our nieces, our nephews, our younger nieces and nephews who are looking for jobs to say, look, why don't you go into filmmaking? Why don't you go into the theater? Why don't you go into the arts? Because once you do that, you can look across the borders and see how you can collaborate. You're building skills, you're telling the African story, and you're also making good money for yourself. So this is at the point where we say thank you for enabling us to come into your homes, your laptops, or wherever. And we just hope that we're going to get to the place where we are talking very important issues around the Africa creative arts. It's an important industry that you must follow, and we pray and we know that you're going to talk about that going forward, knowing that it is the right place for you and the right place to take for the AU as a global player. Thank you. My name is E.K. Benson Jr. Happy to be coming your way once again. Hope you have a great day. Follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and whatever else you can find us on, and the hashtag Africa Zeitgeist Show as well across social media. We hope you have a great day. Goodbye.